Hello everyone, I'm so excited today. I'm super happy to have you here, my friend attorney Susan Wolf. Today have the opportunity for people and our clients to know a little bit about yourself. So, estoy muy contento, realmente muy feliz de poder tener a mi amiga, la abogada Susan Wolf, con nosotros hoy. Susan, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here as well. I've been practicing for over 15 years in all different facets of the law, from family law to civil litigation and criminal matters as well. And I've been working with La Familia now for almost over 15 years.
It's great. It's been 15 years, 15 años de trabajar juntos, and it's been a wonderful relationship. Susan, there's sometimes, especially in our community, a lot of questions. Why should I hire an attorney in a specific case? Why should I go and prepare? What can you tell us about that?
The most important reason for hiring an attorney in any case that you have, whether it's family law, criminal, civil, is there's some cases that seem so simple aren't that simple. There's also attorneys on the other end and you don't know what you're doing. For instance, if I was going to go paint a room, I don't know the first thing about what type of paint I should get, water-based, oil-based. When you come to me for information, you don't know the laws, you don't know the family code section or the criminal code section. For that matter, you don't know the deadlines with discovery or what discovery is. These are all things that come into play with all facets of the law, and it's very important to hire counsel, whoever the counsel may be, that knows what they're doing.
La pregunta en sí fue por qué la importancia de contratar un abogado, y Susan nos explica de que hay casos donde la ley puede ser complicada, usted no sabe la ley, no sabe los códigos, el abogado es la otra parte, y esa es la posición del abogado, de ver qué es lo que más le conviene a usted y hacer el trabajo para usted. In relation with the family law cases that we handle, La Familia handle a lot of family law cases, and you have a lot of experience in those cases. There's any advice that you have for a client in terms of how to conduct itself, and what is your experience in that? What can you tell us?
From the family law case, from the beginning to the end, especially if there's children involved, you want to make sure that the best interest of the children is what you're looking out for, because sometimes we lose that when we get upset with the other party. Because what's most important really is the family first. Yes, everybody wants to know about money and their belongings and all of that and their property, and we will take care of all of that. But just remember that the best interest of the children is what's most important, and we can help you assist it to make it a smooth and amicable, friendly transition to get you through this.
Le pregunté a la abogada Susan qué consejo le puede dar, especialmente a los clientes, en cómo estar y entrar en los casos de ley familiar, y ella explica que es muy importante tener presente, especialmente cuando hay niños, que los niños es lo primero, y tratar de resolver el caso de una manera amistosa y de una manera donde sea una solución lo mejor posible para ambas partes. There's one thing that it concerns a lot of clients, especially with attorneys, is the attorney fees. There's many attorneys that nowadays, now with these changes, you can hire an attorney for one day. There's flat rate fee. There's the attorneys charge the client an hourly rate. What do you think it should be, and what is your opinion on that? What can you tell us?
Well, I think it's important to be able to work with the people that you're working with and to understand their whole picture, including their financial situation, and to make it work for the customer as well as for the attorney. But I think we need to work together. This is kind of a relationship that we have to be able to be comfortable with each other, both financially but emotionally, because you're coming to me for my experience of doing this to assist you, and financially I understand people have different financial needs, and we try to work with you with that so that we can make it work for both of us, so you're properly represented.
And that es muy importante de que el cliente sea honesto, pero al mismo tiempo, como dice Susan, la abogada tiene que ser honesta en plantear lo que la abogada cobra, el contrato está expuesto para que no haya ningún tipo de confusión, etc.
And just on that, I think it's also important to understand having someone for a day just for that part in court, it's also based on the paperwork that was submitted ahead of time. So it's really important to have somebody really from the beginning, if you can, that you can work with, because that way what you can do is have that paperwork done correctly, the way it should be done, so when they're in court arguing, it's all, we've already worked on it from the beginning, rather than coming in and trying to fix a problem that was already created.
Exactamente. La abogada realmente explicó donde, a veces, porque le hablamos de la opción de ir a corte el abogado por un día, pero a veces también es importante saber que los documentos fueron preparados correctamente, y acuérdese que no existe esa relación con el abogado desde el principio del caso. Eso es solamente por un día, y por eso es muy importante de que se tome en cuenta de que a veces es importante tener abogado desde un principio. Susan, there's it's a concern for our community, especially we see this happening lately a lot, which is the domestic violence, which is related to family law. What can you tell us? What are the consequences if there's a domestic violence in family, and then how it's going to affect the parties, and husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, and the children? What is your experience in that, and how the court is handling these cases?
Do you want to translate that question in Spanish?
Well, la pregunta en sí, una de las grandes preocupaciones que está pasando es últimamente que estamos viendo muchos casos de violencia doméstica. Mi pregunta a la abogada Susan es cómo esto está afectando no solo a la familia, afecta al esposo, afecta a la esposa, afecta al novio, a la novia, afecta a los hijos, y cómo la corte está tomando estos casos, qué tan serio está.
I'm glad you asked that, because it's such an important issue. Restraining orders can affect many different ways. For instance, usually on that topic, there's a husband and wife, we'll use this as an example, if your boyfriend and girlfriend get into an argument and somebody calls the police, or a neighbor calls the police because they hear it. Police come out, somebody gets arrested. Well, now you've got a criminal case, and let's just say that it's the husband that gets arrested, and wife decides that she's going to go to court and she's going to file restraining orders because she's afraid now and afraid for the children. She goes to family law court and gets restraining orders. Then you have a criminal case, you have a family law case. Now, with that, I don't know if this person is legal or illegal, so it depends, and that's important for immigration consequences with the criminal case, because that can make you deportable. So there's all these different facets that come in with just that simple argument that maybe you didn't even call the police for, but the neighbor did. And once there's a criminal case and you're arrested, it is up to the state of California that prosecutes. Even if the wife says, or the girlfriend says, I don't want to prosecute, it doesn't matter. It's the state versus that individual. And you still have to deal with that. Then you have the family law case with the restraining orders. Restraining orders can take away physical and legal custody of the children from you, even temporarily, and you'll have to fight for them, but you're climbing up a ladder. So anytime anything like that happens, it is so important to have representations, because there's so many different facets that it affects.
La pregunta que le hicimos a la abogada de la importancia de la violencia doméstica, y cuando se presenta el caso, y la diferencia entre la orden civil de restricción y la orden criminal. Como estaba diciendo, si hay una pelea o una discordia entre la pareja y la esposa da las declaraciones, arrestan al esposo, se lo llevan, ya el Estado sí le va a poner cargos criminales, y al mismo tiempo, bueno, va a tener las consecuencias de la orden de restricción civil, que le va a afectar en lo que es custodia, visita en el futuro, y por supuesto también la parte de inmigración, las consecuencias legales. Es un tema extremadamente delicado. A veces las personas se arrepienten y quieren retirar los cargos, es demasiado tarde, la ley no está diseñada de esa manera. Ya después que usted da la declaración, los cargos no se pueden retirar. Entonces es algo que tenemos que tener mucho cuidado porque las consecuencias son bastante serias. One more question in regards to just the domestic violence and the criminal charges. It's important that the client knows two separate cases. I want to make sure that that's what something that a lot of people think, oh, just one case altogether.
It's two separate cases. The criminal courts and family law are two separate courts. They're two separate cases. And they have to be treated differently because one is the state's prosecuting and the other is family law. And you're dealing with all the family issues in addition to the restraining order. They're two separate cases, absolutely.
Okay. Well, Susan, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure. It's been actually extremely happy, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last one. We will have a lot of these little sessions in the future where we'll explain and talk about different topics.
I'd be happy to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Gracias, Susan. Espero que esta no sea la última vez. Estoy seguro que vamos a tener muchos temas en el futuro. Gracias.
The only thing is you didn't translate that last answer about two separate cases.
Oh.